Orchid Pharma has come up with a separate division for antimicrobial resistance, which is a booming concern for public health. And for more on this, we have with us Orchid Pharma CEO Rajnish Rohtagi to tell us more about this new venture. Thanks for joining us, sir. So firstly, I would like to ask you to elaborate on this new venture of yours, about this new division. And also for the viewers, if you can simplify that, what is actually antimicrobial resistance and why is it a concern for public health at this point?
AMR is one of the biggest issues which all of us are facing, whether it's us as patients or it's hospitals or it's the whole society at large. And so AMR refers to the antimicrobial resistance, which basically means in simple terms that when a bacteria which earlier used to be killed by the antibiotic that we had is no longer getting killed by that antibiotic because it has its own mechanisms of evolving in order to survive and therefore develops resistance to that particular antibiotic. Now, in the overall space of antimicrobials, as you would be aware, in the last several decades, there haven't been too many new molecules which have been getting launched or coming up for commercial success. And the older molecules are getting to be resistant, and they're no longer working on the bacteria and the microorganisms. As a result, there has been a huge issue with patients not getting cured fast enough or increased mortality and morbidity. So that's the space that we want to operate in. And for that, we are launching a division called Orchid AMS, where the AMS stands for Antimicrobial Solutions. And the expectation is that we will be able to do a variety of things compared to many other pharma companies which are doing so, but in a manner where we can actually impact and help hospitals initially and through them the society at large in reducing this challenge of AMR.
Great. But sir, how much investments or capex has gone into the development of this new division? What are your future plans on this? Especially when we consider that the R&D costs involved in the antimicrobial space is quite high.
So this particular division is actually a business or a sales and marketing division, which is drawing upon the existing capacities and capabilities of the Orchid company, Orchid Pharmaceutical or Orchid Pharma Limited. And this is a division which has been launched for a domestic market and in the formulations market. So by itself, within the division, the investments are really in the sales and marketing capability and the team that is being formed for that. But at the back end, in the parent company of Orchid, the company spends almost 2% of its sales on R&D. And as you know, the new molecule which has been in the news recently, which was our own invention way back in 2010. In fact, Orchid Pharma remains till date the only Indian company to have ever invented a new chemical entity that has seen the light of day and come into the market. So we are just at the cusp of launching it in the next month or so. And on that, while it was invented in 2010, but we had out-licensed it to a German company for doing the subsequent trials. But just to bring it to market in India, the company spent almost 15 crores on that. But on an ongoing basis, as part of our regular R&D efforts, about 2% of sales is what we're spending on R&D.
Yes, sure. Also, can you elaborate a little bit on the new launches that are due under this segment? Also, what are your expectations from this new division as far as growth is concerned? Do you have any numbers in your mind?
Yeah, so as I said, the division is a new division. Till date, we just formed it a few months back. The first batch of salespeople have got hired and trained, and we are about to hit the market with a range of products in the next 30 to 60 days. So current sales are zero, absolutely. And after we launch, our vision is that in the next 2 to 3 years, we are looking at building a business in the domestic market of about 250 to 300 crores, starting from literally next 2 months. The sales will come from a very wide range of antibiotics. One of the legs of our strategy to make a difference is to have a wide range of antibiotics, because what happens otherwise, as is true for many companies which go into the market, which is 5 or 6 molecules, there will obviously be a tendency to push those molecules. And sometimes you end up force fitting a round peg in a square hole. and therefore the antibiotic which gets promoted may not be the ideal antibiotic for that particular patient condition. We want to take that limitation away. So we are going to be launching with over 30 molecules at one time in the next 2 months, so that our sales team can honestly and genuinely tell the doctors that, look, we have a range. I'm not here to push any one particular one on which my target rests. You can take and pick and choose whichever one is most appropriate. So that's a big part of our strategy, and to offer that basket coming from one person and one salesperson to a doctor. Obviously, many of those products are old established product categories, molecules. But like we said, our own molecules, cefepime and metribactam, which we are launching in a month or two under the brand name of Orchid AMS, that will be our lead product in a way. Some early discussions with many doctors tells us that the market and the customers and the doctors are waiting for this molecule. It's particularly helpful in complicated UTI infections, which is one of the biggest infections for any ICU in a hospital. So that's the kind of business we are looking at, led by a range of baskets, a range and a basket of products, and a few products where we will have exclusivity and nobody else will have that product. So within a year, we are also looking at launching a product called cefiderocol, which is a product from Shionogi of Japan. And we have been selected by an organization called GARDP for being their global supplier or manufacturer. And as well as we are in the discussions to finalize an agreement for us to be the distributor for this product in India. So those will be the 2 or 3 products which are exclusive, which nobody else will have, and it's our own solution. But apart from that, we will complement these with many of these regular products, but a wide range of basket which we will offer to the customer.
Great. But sir, you might also be factoring in a couple of headwinds when you might be designing this new division. So can you elaborate and list a few headwinds that are currently in your mind with respect to this segment?
Yeah, so for the division as a whole, and given the task that we have taken on, as you know, antibiotic is already a pretty crowded space. It's a hyper-competitive market. Many players have entered the market. And despite that, we have entered into it because we think we have certain competitive advantages vis-a-vis many of them, given our own history with a very well-recognized plant and quality perceptions in our Chennai factory. But the fact is that it still remains a very competitive market. And we hope to differentiate ourselves in it by taking on a task which goes beyond just selling and making due profits, which is really to see how we can partner with hospitals in helping them address this big issue of AMR. And we hope we can position ourselves as a knowledge partner for the hospitals. It is an ambitious task, given that we are just starting off, but I think we should be able to establish our credentials and our integrity and our intent of doing business even while we do good for society.
Okay, so you just mentioned that about the competitiveness that is there in this segment. So do you have any numbers in your mind with respect to market share? What are you targeting with respect to market share at this point?
Yeah, so I've indicated to you that in 2-3 years' time, we are looking at about 250 to 300 crores business in this. And market share, you can translate that depending on which way you want to take the denominator. The entire antimicrobial market is estimated at close to 25,000 crores, but a lot of it is rural or small towns and in oral tablet forms. You yourself have written today's article, which refers to the challenges of going rural in India. I was going through that article, and that's a segment which we are not able to prioritize right now. So our addressable market is really the injectables, which is consumed in the ICU and the wards and inpatient usage, and not what you and I might consume at home as an oral tablet. So that market is estimated at about 10-12,000 crores. And within that also, I guess what we'll be able to reach in terms of our size of our sales team would be about 3,000 crores. Market is where we will be playing and we will be operating. So we are looking at almost therefore a 10% share, 300 crores out of 3,000 crores.
Great. Apart from the antimicrobial division, what are the other key areas for Orchid that are likely to be in focus?
So within this division, that's all we are going. We are going to be focused. Just to correct you, it's not called the AMR segment in that sense. The AMR is really the resistance of the bacteria to the antimicrobial. The segment is really the antimicrobial segment. And within that, we are operating in the injectable part of it, not the oral. And that's really, so within this division, that's the only product category we'll be having. About 30 plus molecules and 40 SKUs to start with.
Okay, so one last question to you, sir. Recently, Dr. Reddy's ventured into the nutraceutical business through a joint venture with Nestle. So, do you also have anything in mind when it comes to the nutraceutical space? Are there any plans on that front as well?
So, nutraceutical, like you said, has really been a fast-growing market for many companies, and more so, I believe, after the COVID period. But we certainly are not looking at that area right now. And there are just, it's not even on the table for discussion right now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for talking to us and taking out some time for us, and all the best for this new venture of yours. It was great talking to you.